right, how you guys doing? Reggie here, aka FitNoop1911, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector. And I want to welcome you to another one of my videos. This video is going to be my haul, and I'm going to share with you some books that I've picked up over the course of this week. And I'm also going to do this video a little bit different than some of the videos that I've done in the past, and that I'm typically talking to the camera. For part of this video, I'm going to turn it around and I'm actually going to show you a stack of books that I picked up recently. But before we get to those books, I want to spend a little bit of time talking about some books that I picked up in the local comic shop. Starting off with Avengers No Surrender. This is issue number 689. And as always, I keep the flap open because this is the one that I intend to read. I'm a big fan still of reading the books. So that's the regular cover. I also picked up the variant cover, which I like a little bit better, with Thor there. I think that's Miss Marvel in the background. I have only read one of these No Surrender storylines so far, and it was the one with the Hulk on the cover. I think it was an issue or two ago. So pretty good read so far, so I decided to pick this one up and kind of continue it. The next book I picked up was Venomized number 3. I picked up number 1. I enjoy reading that. I have number 2. I have not yet read that because I'm a little behind. But then number 3, I wanted to make sure I grabbed this one. This one looks to be pretty interesting because I think that's Thor's hammer, and I think someone is trying to pick it up. So it's going to be interesting to see what this story is all about. So looking forward to reading that. The next book that I want to show you is probably a book that many of you picked up or probably have already seen, and it is Amazing Spider-Man 799, with this wonderful cover appearance of the Red Goblin, surrounded by many of Peter Parker's friends who the Red Goblin easily defeated. Peter Parker was injured in issue 798, called in a few of his buddies to Miles Morales, Silk, some of these other people to kind of help protect his friends and family and loved ones from the Red Goblin, who now knows his secret identity. He easily defeated them. And what was really cool about this, and you guys have probably already seen the videos, probably already read the story yourself, but what was really cool about it was the very end, when the Red Goblin basically grabbed his grandson and made him into a Red Goblin as well. That was cool. That was unexpected. Who the heck knows where this storyline is going to go, but I am invested and I am enjoying it. I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely enjoying this one. So I'm looking forward to see what happens in 800. There was some speculation that the black suit was going to come back, and I think still that it is, but it might be like issue 800. I saw one cover recently where it looked like it was like half of the Spider-Man symbiote, or the Venom symbiote, and then half the regular Spider-Man costume. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. I've been watching a couple of guys like Jim Comics, I think, and he speculated that it was going to be in 799 that the black costume was going to appear because Peter Parker burned his costume in 798. But he donned the regular costume in this issue. So it may be the 800 that he shows up. And I think the 800 actually has like 8. No, it's not that many. It's like six covers, I do believe. I put an order in like a month ago for many of those covers. So looking forward to getting number 800. But definitely enjoy reading 799 and definitely enjoying this cover artwork. I picked up not one but 2 copies of the regular cover, and then I also grabbed the one of the variants. I think there's a couple of variants out, but this one is a really cool one. I think by Ed McGuinness, I want to say that one is by, and I think the regular cover is Alex Ross, I want to say. You guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I want to say that that's correct. You guys know that I am a huge fan of Amazing Spider-Man, and so while we're on this theme of Red Goblin Spider-Man, I wanted to show you guys a book that I picked up, and it was on a recommendation from DS Comics. I don't know if you guys have watched his content. I encourage you to do so. There's a new feature that I'm going to put in this video where in one of these corners there will be a little eye. If you click on that eye, you'll get a drop down. And inside of that drop down, what I'll try to do is to put a link to DS Comics channel so that you can check out some of his wonderful content. But in one of his videos, he was talking about how I think it was Amazing Spider-Man 252 and the Marvel team up were not necessarily the first appearances of the black costume the way that we believed it to be. And if I get some facts wrong, you guys just excuse me, right? It's late at night, just excuse me. He basically was saying that there were some earlier publications of the black costume, and he showed in his video, I think it was 3 or 4 books where the black costume actually appeared, like as a sketch and as a preview to what they were going to do in Secret Wars, etc., etc. And so one of those books was this one, Amazing Heroes number 35. And this is a hard book to get in good condition. I guess it's like a preview book, but it's also a white cover. And so trying to find one that was clean, that had really sharp creases, sharp edges, corners, was a little difficult, but I was able to find this one, negotiated with the guy. He had it for a certain price. I cut it, and he countered, and the counter was still a really good deal. I would have bought it at the original price, to be honest, but ended up buying the book from the guy. Came from Canada, did not realize it was a Canadian book at the time, or I should say located in Canada. But the guy shipped it. It arrived relatively quickly. He packaged it incredibly well. The book arrived with absolutely no damage. But inside of this book is a wonderful sketch of the black costume. And like I said, I think there's a couple of books where the sketches of him appear, and many of them I think are the black and red costume, which was the original design, and then it became the black and white costume. But great book. Happy to have this book in my collection. Huge shout out to DS Comics for giving me a heads up on that one, because I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, and you know, I want to get all of those iconic books, at least in my mind, that kind of talk about the history of a Spider-Man in the black costume is a really big thing, kind of as we've been talking about with it possibly making a reappearance. So the next book that I picked up was not really a speculation thing. But I've been, watching a lot of content on YouTube. There's a lot of guys that I watch on a regular basis. One of them is Comics Explained. If you guys have not seen this guy's content, I'm telling you, great voice, but also great content, great in-depth reporting and analysis of books. I don't know where this guy finds the time to be able to do the research. Maybe he's got it all in his head, but how does he cram that in? Who knows? But the guy does some wonderful coverage of books. And, there's some other guys out there that I watch. And so what I've been kind of thinking about is where might the films that support the comics go? And there's a lot of talk about, the Avengers movie coming up and Thanos making an appearance, and maybe Thanos won't be in just one movie. Maybe it'll spill over to a couple of movies because, this is like a big event. There may be some people that died. There's some contracts that are ending for some of the the well-known actors that are in the MCU right now. So what does the future hold, right? And I've been kind of thinking about that, and the question is there possibly the transition momentarily from earth-bound kind of characters to more cosmic movies? You saw the success of Guardians of the Galaxy. There's a speculation around the Fantastic Four, right, coming back. Silver Surfer would come back. I think it's Captain Marvel may have a movie, and then of course Guardians of the Galaxy 3 may come out at some point. So is there possibly a shift that could happen to more cosmic movies? And so I've got that kind of in my head, kind of swirling around. And then I heard recently that the New Gods have a movie, and that New Gods are also coming back into comic books. I think they're being introduced in an upcoming issue of Wonder Woman. Like, I don't read DC at all, and you guys may know more about this than I, but I think that they're going to make an appearance, which kind of makes sense if they're also then going to have a movie. And so the New Gods were created by Jack Kirby when he was at DC, and then he left DC and he came to Marvel and he created the Eternals, which are essentially like Marvel's version of the New Gods. And so part of my thinking was, is there a chance that they could introduce the Eternals and the Celestials and the Deviants into the MCU? And so who knows whether it's going to happen, but it's just kind of been, swirling around in my head. So for that reason, part of it is like I've gone out and I've bought a lot of the, Thanos books that I didn't have, like Infinity War and some, Infinity Watch and some of those other books to complement the ones that I already had. But I also went out and I bought the Eternals. Jack Kirby wrote the story for it, and he also did the artwork for the Eternals. And I picked up Slabbed number 1 and number 2. Number 1 has not arrived yet, but I picked it up as a 9.4 signature series signed by the colorist. And I also picked up number 2 as a 9.6. And here it is here. It's actually it's a dynamic cover. It's a very interesting cover, very Kirby-esque kind of cover. But it's a solid piece of artwork. And so, I've been a fan of buying Slab books and then reading the book, not in the Slab format, but I've been reading them on Marvel Unlimited. And so I ordered these books maybe a week ago, and then I started reading them. And so I'm up to issue like number 5. And there's been like some interesting kind of evolutions in those issues as I've kind of worked through them. I think Jack Kirby is first and foremost a cartoonist. And not necessarily a writer, but what I've seen is his writing actually get better as you went from issue 1 to 5. And so I'm waiting to kind of see, how good it might become as I continue reading through the various issues. But I am enjoying the story. I think number 1 was a little bit of a struggle for me because it was a little more dated. The writing was a little clunky. But I think, again, I'm up to number 5 now, and it seems to kind of be flowing. So I bought number 1 and number 2 Slabbed, and then I also picked up issues 1 through 19, and then the annual as well. So I wanted to make sure that I had all the books, because, again, maybe there's something there, maybe there's nothing there, but these are, books represent a great piece of comic book history by one of the greatest artists, in DC or Marvel for that matter, that being Jack Kirby. So who knows what could happen with, this. Maybe there'll be a movie, because I think there's some talk about that. Maybe there won't be a movie. Maybe the books will go up in value. Maybe they won't. Who the heck knows? At the end of the day, I'm going to enjoy having these books in my collection. I'm going to enjoy reading them because I'm enjoying them already. So I can only imagine that I'll continue to enjoy it. But I am curious as to what you guys think. Is there the possibility that they could introduce Eternals and the Deviants and the Celestials kind of, as a movie? Could they introduce the Eternals back into comic books the same way that they may be doing New Gods? Curious what you guys' thoughts are. So I'm going to do something a little bit different, as I mentioned. Instead of talking to the camera and showing the book, I'm actually going to turn the camera around, and I'm actually going to show the book so that you guys can see these. I had not really seen this artwork prior to when I started doing my research on these books like 2 weeks ago. I don't know if you've seen them, so I want to spend a little bit of time, kind of setting it up so that you guys can actually see this artwork, because I'm, again, not sure whether you guys have seen it before. As always, I appreciate you guys watching the videos. I appreciate the comments. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. I try to put out good content on a regular basis. But thank you guys for watching. And like I said, let me turn the camera around so that you guys can check these books out. All right, so here we are with a up close look at Eternals number 1. Again, this was story and cover by Jack Kirby, but a very, nice cover. Here is cover number 2. This is the one that I also have slabbed as a 9.6. This one could probably very easily be pretty high 9s. There's a little bend in this corner here, but a pretty nice cover. Here's number 3. Devil in the Sky is what the call out is. The uniform that Icarus wears is a very interesting one. I'm not quite sure what to make of that uniform that he wears. But here you can see, I think these are the mutants, the mutates of the deviants, which are the counterpart, if you will, the cousins of the Eternals. Number 5. I think this is like the Zeus character of the Eternals, but a pretty nice cover. I can't remember her name. I think his is Mercury or something similar to that. I'm not quite sure who that guy is. Number 8. Again, just pretty nice artwork. Number 7. I think that is the Celestials there. So I'm looking forward to reading that one. Number 8. War in the City of Toads. Number 9. These are all in really great shape. I picked them up from this one seller who had the entire lot for sale on eBay. Number 10, The City That Died Twice. Number 11, number 12. None of these are, despite the pricing kind of changing here, none of them are the price variant versions. Number 13. Number 14. This is interesting because this is the first time I think that on any of the covers we've actually seen a regular Marvel character make an appearance. There's the Incredible Hulk there, face to face against the Cosmic Powered Hulk. So that'll be interesting to see what happens in that story. And here the Hulk continues to make an appearance. Final Fury as Titans clash. Number 16. Number 17. There's 3 Icarus. Not quite sure what that's about. Number 18. And then we're down to the last 2 here. Number 19. And then the last one, 3 Against the Time Killers. This is the annual, king size annual number 1. It's actually a square bound, but I think it's a little flat there. So I don't know if that's it being compressed, but it is a square bound, which is a little bit different from all of the other books. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed seeing those covers. Not sure if you've ever seen them up close, but wanted to at least put them in front of you guys so that you would have an opportunity to see those covers. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. And again, if you have not done so, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel. Take care, guys. Thank you very much.